Where Dr. Mitrick did his PhD, Patrick did his bachelor's at Harvard. So I asked him why you wanted to do a second degree. His answer was, with the mentoring from his parents, both of whom are in the medical field, York is the only place that had a quality biotechnology program in UWI. And so Patrick wanted to get, having done an interdisciplinary science degree at Harvard, he wanted to get the real science. Congratulations to the Roberts and the Patricks and the other students who are going on to the world of graduate school. Not all PhDs, but many are, and those who are going on to the world of work. Thank you.
One more round of applause for the students. Thank you so much. And now we're going to move on to a musical selection from Dreamgirls, and I think it needs no further introduction if you guys want to come forward and be seen.
Round of applause for the Dreamgirls.
Hello everyone, looking great today. First I want to thank the Provost and the President for allowing the Dreamgirls cast to come sing. And we also want to thank our professors Jonathan Quash, Tom Marion, and Timothy Amrine for all helping us in this production. Dreamgirls is based on the show business musical aspiration and success of R&B groups in the 1960s. And what the show is pretty much about, it's about 3 females who are rising stars and the issues they have together and apart. So as being theater arts majors, people think we just create nothing, and what it is actually research. And in order for us to get into character, there's research about the time period, and not only about our characters, but about the current events that happened during the time, about their mannerisms and how they act, because everything that we do on stage is truthful. Nothing is coming from out of the air, it's all coming from something. So furthermore, I just like to have the cast, and we're gonna sing a little snippet from the musical.
Curtis says it was best for the group.
What about what's best for me?
He feels the dreams can cross over.
What about how I feel?
When we're famous, FB, I'll write great hits for you.
What about me? What about me?
It's more than you. It is more than me. No matter what we are a family. This dream is for all of us. This one can be real, and you can't stop us now. I
let's have another round of applause for the lovely Dream Girls presenters. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to bring this is my fourth student research day, and next year I have the pleasure of, let me just see, okay, great. Next year. Yeah. Low on batteries. We get an Energizer here? Hello. Okay. So next year I have the pleasure of turning over. Can you make this work though, Tom? I have the pleasure of turning over the directorship of the Office of Undergraduate Research to my colleague, Dr. Robert Duncan, and I think in lieu of that, he's agreed generously to introduce our keynote speaker, who we're really delighted to have. So I'd like to bring Robert Duncan up on stage. That's it. Thank you.
I in turn would like to thank Dr. Nath and all the planning committee who has made this such a great event every year. And we only hope to expand it and make it even more rich. Yeah, please. And I look forward to comments, best practices from the faculty members, student experiences. Let us hear your voice so that we can provide more for you in the future. It gives me great joy to present our keynote speaker, Dr. Partha Mitra. He received his PhD from Harvard in 1993, and he is currently faculty in bioinformatics at Cold Harvard. We're an exciting point in neuroscience. The Genome Project, as you know, moved a lot faster than we anticipated, and now we are able to map the entire genetic sequence in humans. And the recent developments in neuroscience have also exploded, and we are now at the point where we are planning to map the entire mouse atlas and the entire human brain atlas via research programs like Dr. Mitra's and MRI programs as well. It's a vast effort. We have billions of neurons in our brains, and they make trillions of connections. It's the most complicated mechanism in the known universe. And apart from taking on this magnanimous endeavor, Dr. Mitra is also, from what I understand, a musician. He has written songs. He has produced sculpture. He's a very well-rounded individual and a very nice
Hello everyone. Thank you Rishi and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to present to you. As I was listening to the presentations about the undergraduate research, I was reminded of my own undergraduate research and my mentor, who had a very important influence in my life. That was back in Presidency College in Calcutta. And I learned something very important as a result of that. I think of it now as sort of a transition from what I learned from this mentor and from doing the research was you can really ask questions for yourself. It marked a transition from receiving wisdom from books, from people, reading books, to reading the book of nature, if you will. It was thrilling to find out that you can ask questions yourself, you can figure things out. You don't really need to rely on what other people tell you. And it's kind of a subversive thing to say, but whenever I meet students, I always say, question everything, find out for yourself. That doesn't mean be disrespectful. You don't want to figure out everything that humans have learned over the last few thousand years by yourself. It'll be more efficient to sometimes listen to what other people have had to say. But if knowledge is a vast forest, we have cleared a little bit of it. And research is sort of at the edge of that forest, and you're trying to cut down some more trees, and there's always more to be done. And the most exhilarating thing, there are many things that give us pleasure, but perhaps the purest pleasure is that of figuring something out by yourself for the first time and having that aha moment of problem solving. So it's really great to kind of hear some of that today. And I want to tell you a bit about a project that I'm running to map out the circuits of the mouse brain. I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I'm doing it. You're here at a college to gather knowledge about the world, about yourselves. And this is something that, from ancient times, of course, has been something that the sages have told us. Rishi means sage, so I guess shout out to Rishi there. In the temple of Apollo at Delphi, it was inscribed, Gnoti Syalpan, know yourself. In Sanskrit, there's Atmanan Vidhi. These ideas, of course, cross-cultural. There's nothing really new to them. The thing that drives us today drove for a long time ago. I was just Googling Gnoti, and I found out that, well, there's a Proto-Indo-European root no, which is also related to Sanskrit Jnanam. And that was interesting because instead of going to the Oracle at Delphi, I was going to Google, right? So that's a part of the Oracle and to Wikipedia. But it sort of made me ask a question. There's all this knowledge in the internet, but does the internet know anything? Would anyone here say that the internet actually knows something? No. So it's like asking, does a tape recorder know music? Well, not really. I mean, it can sing it, but there's this interesting difference, right? So people say the internet is a brain. That's a loose way people put it, but if you start thinking about it, it doesn't really make sense, right? I mean, don't need a lot of technical knowledge to see that doesn't make sense. There's a more sort of maybe sophisticated question. People say, well, the brain is a computer. And one can ask the question, how many people here think the brain is a computer? Well, one person, two. How many people would say the brain is not a computer? There's a few, and then there's several undecided. Well, now one of the things is to ask these questions in a logical way. It's not just a statement of authority. You don't want somebody to tell you the brain's a computer, or what's your feeling about whether the brain's a computer or not. We need to find out what computers are. So you have to define what computers are, see what properties they have. Then you can ask, do brains have that property? And if they do, then they are computers. If not, they don't, right? So now, so what is a computer? First step. Well, we can spend a lot of time talking about that, but let's take this definition, which is a Turing machine. Are there people in the audience who know what a Turing machine is? And please don't be shy if you've heard of a Turing machine. Well, there's a couple people. So the Turing machine is a model of computation that Alan Turing made. I'll tell you a little bit about Alan Turing. But instead of asking whether the brain is a computer, a more concrete technical question would be, can I model the brain usefully using a Turing machine? And to answer this question, there is the following simple yes-no question that will help us understand this. So let me ask you this question. Only a few people know what a Turing machine is, so it'll have to be confined to those people. But the rest of you can feel free to respond. Does a Turing machine accept inputs while it is computing? Is the answer yes? How many people think the answer is yes? You think the answer is yes? And how many people think the answer is no? Some people think the answer is no. The answer is no. Turing machines do not accept inputs while